LinkedIn presents.
Good morning. I'm your host, Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, the show that gives you quick insights from the latest nonfiction books, making it effortless for you to get smarter while sipping your morning coffee. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcast player and leave us a rating or review so others can find the show too. Now, how well do you fit with your job? You're probably used to looking for so-called good jobs and avoiding bad ones. But we might be better off looking for jobs that fit, that are a good match for our talents and personality. This approach would be better for employers and employees alike, according to Andre Martin, author of Wrong Fit, Right Fit, Why How We Work Matters More Than Ever. Andre is an organizational psychologist and talent management executive. Here he is to share some of his big ideas.
During my time as Chief Talent and Learning Officer at revered brands like Nike, Mars, Target, and Google, I met many talented people who were doing the best work of their lives. They were healthy, fully engaged, confident, and optimistic about the future. They walked around the hallowed halls of these great brands with a bounce in their step and a purpose to their day. They were, in the end, a part of something that just made sense to them. They had found their right fit. But in each of these companies, there was another very particular group that caught my eye at the beginning of my career and has held my attention ever since. The talented people who were struggling to do their best work, struggling to keep their confidence high, and struggling to make sense of the place where they had landed. They had had past success in other companies, had been accustomed to high performance, and had rarely wondered if they were good enough. Yet, there they were, exhausted, frustrated, lacking confidence, and in a state of discontent. These were my people, my cause, the highly talented individuals who landed in wrong fit. So, what do I mean by right or wrong fit? Fit is a deep and authentic connection to how a company works day to day. Not just what it values or stands for, but how the company collaborates, solves problems, manages conflict, socializes ideas, gives feedback, determines high performance, thinks about time, develops its people, and the many other things. It's all the activities that make up work on any given day. Every company has a way work gets done, and it is different everywhere you go. Work is hard right now for a lot of people, harder than it should be. The Gallup organization estimates that right now there's $8.8 trillion of lost productivity in the workplace due to disengagement. And we are seeing unprecedented levels of burnout and stress, with reports from the likes of CNBC and Ernst & Young estimating 53% of our managers are burnout and 40% of employees feel isolated at work. Further, global engagement numbers have barely moved in a decade, though many companies have invested like mad in their respective employee experiences. The result has been a crisis of commitment and a debt of energy, the likes of which we have not seen in the modern workplace. Companies have lost their secret sauce or unique way of working, and talent looking for right fit are left confused and disappointed about why it is seemingly so elusive. Thus, more often than not, talent is finding themselves in wrong fit experiences. One of the interviewees in our book described the feeling of wrong fit as everyone has a secret decoder ring for success, except for me. Others describe wrong fit as if they were slogging through mud or being punched in the face every day in different ways. Something has got to change.
I'm Tomer Cohen, LinkedIn's Chief Product Officer. In my new podcast, Building One, I interview some of the best product builders out there. People at the intersection of dreaming and building and learning. Together, you and I will learn from their experiences. If you're just as curious as I am, follow Building One wherever you listen, and check out the conversation on LinkedIn.
Interviews are like first dates, and first dates tell us very little about whether we are actually compatible. The movement towards culture decks, employee brands, and beautiful career websites built in the service of attracting the best talent has had some unintended consequences. The biggest of which is that recruiting has become more marketing and manipulation than it is a fair assessment of fit. Case in point, in a recent survey by Resume Builder, 40% of managers admitted to lying during an interview process. 40%. Thus, we aren't getting deep enough to see and feel what life will be like on a random Tuesday morning in January. On board with a mindset of assessing for right fit versus assimilating to fit in. No matter how good of an investigative journalist you are, what you are sold in recruiting will be different than what it feels like to work at a company day to day. So, it is important for you to understand how the company really works, how the company collaborates, solves problems, manages conflict, socializes ideas, gives feedback, determines high performance, develops its people, and so on. This is probably a good place to mention that there is not such a thing as a perfect fit. However, the fewer dimensions where you have to fit in or change the way you prefer to work, the easier the work will be. Fitting in is like trying to write every day with your non-dominant hand. You can do it, but it is more stressful, more frustrating, the quality of your work goes down, and it takes more effort, leaving you depleted. Fit is a two-way street. Companies can help to create fit by rediscovering how they work at their best and sharing that with both employees who are here today and those that will come tomorrow. No two companies work the same way, but here's the rub. As companies grow, they bring in talent from the outside. That talent arrives with both their highly valuable technical skills and all of their favorite ways of working. If companies are not careful, over time, the secret sauce gets diluted or disappears, and the company becomes an amalgamation of all these individual leaders' favorite ways of working. This is the real reason why we are led to think being bigger means work has to be harder. It doesn't. Not if we keep our ways of working solid. It all starts with how companies can rediscover their secret sauce and then re-recruit their talent back to it. In conclusion, I would simply add that joining a company is a commitment not unlike marriage. But in these days of infinite browsing, FOMO, and job hopping being worn like a badge of honor, we are missing something that matters to us as humans at a foundational level. And that is deep connection and belonging. There's an unseen cost to job hopping. We set our relationship capital back to zero, our reputation back to zero, and we have to learn a whole new system and language to get work done. That can be exciting once in a while, but remember, you have a finite amount of creative energy, and when you move jobs, that energy flows for a long time to the transition, not to your craft. The more you move, the more your top skill becomes moving. Spend just a little bit more time looking for right fit, and you will spend more of your 13.5 years at work energized, engaged, fulfilled, and happy.
Okay, listeners, you can get a copy of Wrong Fit, Right Fit wherever you get your books. And while you're at the bookstore, you might be starting to think about holiday gifts. Well, if you've got any book lovers on your list, how about signing them up for our box subscription service? That's where we'll send out a curated selection of the smartest new nonfiction books every quarter. Because good ideas are always a smart gift. Check it out at nextbigideaclub.com. And right now, you can use the code DAILY50 to get 50% off a membership. That's right. Go to nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAILY50. I'm Michael Kovnat. See you tomorrow.